Good morning, everybody. Today is November 13th, 2019. And I am moving out of my studio, my basement apartment that I was living in while my grandpa was alive, and I was sort of looking after him. But now he's gone, and so will the house. I don't even know if this is going to be shown to anybody. We'll see how brave I am in the next few months. But 2019 has been a really long year. It's been probably one of the worst years of my life. Death does a lot of weird things to people, and you see a lot of people's true colors. And it caused me to face some dark stuff in my own life that I thought I had dealt with. But surprise, no. I made some huge strides professionally, and I'm so grateful to each and every one of my fans who have been streaming my music, who even care about it, to everyone who's subscribed to my YouTube channel. It's weird to have one of the best years of your life professionally and one of the absolute worst personally. But yesterday, I managed to finish one last song in the studio. And it's one that I'm really freaking proud of. I mean, the best music comes, I'm finding, when you face emotion head on. And I mean the scary shit. Like, you deal with it. You come to grips face to face with your darkest moment, and you have that conversation with yourself. This song, it's called Not Afraid of My Heart, and it's basically about me realizing that I was punishing myself for crimes I never committed, and I let people convince me that it was my fault for the last 10 or so years. And it kind of represents just taking power back in your hands, but not even just power, just being like that moment of clarity where you wake up and you're like, no, no, I don't think so. This year, I really didn't think I was gonna make it through it. And I mean that as dark as I'm implying. People's perception is so warped. And I realized that I was allowing this false perception of my life to just take place. I convinced myself that being quiet was me rising above it and, not paying any mind to the negativity. But what it actually was me being complicit in it. That was a subtle way of me agreeing with them that I definitely was this horrible person, or I sit on my couch and do nothing. That's my favorite perception, is that while I'm working my 80+ hour weeks, I actually sit on my couch and just have a pretty sweet setup here and just do nothing. You don't have to pretend everything is sunshine and daisies when it's not. You can acknowledge that your life isn't great, and you don't have to feel bad about that. It's okay. And I learned that in my darkest moment. One of those moments was somehow my external hard drive, which had all of my music on it that I'd created, all of the stuff I'd written, crashed. And it is gone forever. All of Utopia, the whole EP is gone. You'll Find Love is gone. Ouija board is gone. Everything I released this year, every raw file for it, where if I wanted to go in and do something with it, or if I wanted to do an update later in life, or if I wanted to send it off to be remixed or something, it's all gone. It's completely gone. And that happened literally right after my dog died. And I know that I should be thankful for the things I have, but it was on top of a lot of other things as well that I'm not going to go into right now. But that messed me up. When I lost everything and had nowhere to turn, I thought I couldn't say anything on the internet because, you know, nobody wants to hear somebody complain all the time, and my life was shitty. And it seemed like everybody else was having a shitty life, so I like to be a positive person, but I ran out of my juice to be positive. I couldn't smile. Every time somebody asked me, "Are you okay?" No, I'm not. But today, I am moving. So anything from now for the next 7 months on YouTube, I pre-filmed last week. I filmed 7 months of content. My YouTube channel was growing and I didn't want to sacrifice that. So I took 3 days and filmed, actually took 3 months of writing those videos because I script all my videos. Got one song completely done and mastered, and then I made a demo for another song, which is very, very, very special. And I tell people this weird thing that I write through my subconscious. I think my next album is going to be my absolute best because I've relinquished that feeling of trying to please everyone, that feeling of not feeling like I deserve to be heard, feeling like I'm inadequate as an artist, that I'm not really a legit artist, that imposter syndrome. I know what I do, and my fans know what I do, and there's value in that. And I went a long time where I didn't have any fans. So now, it's time to pack all this shit up and start a new adventure. Because I won't be able to record for the next few months, so which is kind of refreshing, to be honest. After You'll Find Love, Ouija Board, Utopia, like I'm a little tired. So I'm just gonna spend some time writing because I'm really excited about my next album. I've got a few songs already written, like specifically for it. I know this is like the 4th incarnation of this album, but I think this is the one it's supposed to be. I think I needed just a little bit more life experience before it came out, although it was not very fun life experience. But if anything, I think there's a story to tell on this album. And I'm really kind of excited to tell it and see how everything unfolds. And I hope you guys really like it. I don't know how this next year is gonna play out, but you know what? I'm mentally, physically, and emotionally drained, exhausted. I'm ready. I'm ready to just own this shit. You know? Just have fun. And writing my own history, my new chapters. Just telling my story. So goodbye. Thank you for everything. It's time to go find the place where I belong. And make some awesome music too. See you in the future. Okay. Today is May 22nd. And the other day I woke up at 4 a.m. The day before I had gotten this mean comment about the sound of my voice. You sound like Neville Papperman. You will rue the day you called me that, Carly Shay. And I get it. But I decided to, be my bitter self. And I started having all these phrases in my head. It all started with me saying, "So I heard you hate my voice." And then I just started writing all these verses down in my notes. And it's 4 a.m. I'm barely awake. I'm just like, I hate you, hate my voice. And yesterday, I tried to go into the studio because everyone's out of town. So I finally have the house to myself, which means, yay, recording for me. And I was trying to do all of the songs that I've written for my album, and nothing was vibing with me. I was just like, you know what? This ain't it. This is not hitting the right way. So I opened up a song this beat that I was working on. It sounded like the verse that I had written in my head. So clearly I was thinking about it subconsciously or something. And I decided to write my eye roll and vent all my frustrations out. And came up with this. So I heard you hate my voice. This is a complete rough demo. You say I sound too feminine. It's cringe if I sound masculine. What I say or sing makes you annoyed. I literally wrote that third verse yesterday. Honestly, it's BTS Hype Week, which I'm doing on TikTok right now. Yesterday, I was so drained. I had filmed my reaction, got it up. I was on 2 hours of sleep, and I was just like, this is my only opportunity to record something right now. So I decided to do something fun. Pulled another Ouija board moment. So my brother came home in the afternoon, and I was like, I'm working on a song that I really want you to hear. And I'm usually pretty protective of my music when it's in these early rough stages. And I was like, can I play you a clip? And he was like, okay. And he puts on his mask because he's like, I'm not going to give you any facial reaction. So he puts it on, and I start playing him this little clip of the tone it down, it's critical, way to be original part. When it stopped, he ripped off his mask and he goes, okay, I love that. So then he started giving me the idea of the heartbeat drop. That was his idea, because I was like, I'm trying to write a hook here, and I am not thinking of anything. And he goes, don't make a hook. Just do something different. So this was his idea. That's actually him mimicking a heartbeat. And then we started talking about music video, and I have all these ideas for my album, and I was like, yo, this would be a really good lead off. He was like, okay. So then he started thinking about all these ideas, and I think we're planning a music video now. This is gonna be very interesting to see how this develops, but I think I'm gonna try to work on it today, get more of it done. I don't know how it's gonna go. I'm just gonna kind of F with it and see what happens, because you know what? It's 2021. Why not mix things up? I've never done a song really like this other than Ouija board, maybe, or Bitter, I guess. But when I was writing it, I kept thinking, damn, I am really good at writing an eye roll. We'll see how it goes. I hope people like it. I don't know. It's going to be different. The voice thing has always been an insecurity of mine. I'm not going to lie. I've worked on my voice tirelessly, and it never seemed to be good enough for people, because this is how I speak. Sorry, I know that irritates some people, but oh well. You know, maybe I just wasn't showing it off in the right way. It's kind of a big theme with this album. Let me turn all of my insecurities into satirical takes, or just confronting them head on. I think I'm just gonna have fun with it, and we'll see how it goes. Guess we'll be working on this today. Good morning. Today is June 5th, and I am finally hopping into the studio to lay down vocals for I Heard You Hate My Voice. I am currently in my mom's RPod because, well, she just got back from a camping trip, and this is pretty much the only space I have to do some vocals. Yay, pandemic and living with your family. So probably for the last year or so, I've had the title of my album finalized. Like, I've changed this album title like 5 times over the last, 4 or 5 years since I released 5. Oh, fitting. And it's interesting. I thought it was kind of gonna go one way, but over the last couple of weeks specifically, I had this kind of crazy idea of what to do with this album. I've never done something like this before, and it's a little bit of a risk to kind of do, but I think it's gonna solve a lot of my issues, because today I had to carve out time today to do strictly vocals for I Heard You Hate My Voice, because, you know, it's funny, when I started officially this project, which was 2019 with Ouija board and Not Afraid of My Heart, I thought my album and my life was going one way, and then the pandemic hit, and it was like, here, you're gonna stay here for a little bit, you know, trying to process that. And then I had to carve out time today to do strictly vocals, because now my life went from trying to take care of my grandpa and dealing with death and selling the house and all that sort of crazy stuff, to then a pandemic, then my videos blowing up. So my week basically is film a few TikToks, write scripts, film YouTube videos, edit, write music in the afternoons, work on a few other projects. And like, it's so interesting how different and yet the same my life is. Like, I'm still writing music in my bedroom. Actually, recording music in my own little space is basically how I did my first few albums as well. So, you know, considering that this album is kind of about realizing that the things I let people convince me were my biggest insecurities are actually my greatest strengths, this whole album, and more like a project, is basically my realization of that. Being 29 is a really weird age, because as soon as you turn 25, everyone around you starts to assume you're 30. You kind of walk this line between society and how you feel, saying you're old when you're really not, and kind of learning how to realize that 30 isn't that scary. It's just everyone thinks it is, and it's really not. You're still literally young. I hope that by talking about my darkest moments and my biggest insecurities will hopefully resonate with other people. They'll feel it, they'll be affected by it, and not only understand me better, but maybe understand themselves a little bit better. Navigating your own emotions is so hard. Thinking about this project as a whole, I feel like I Heard You Hate My Voice is the best way to launch it. The song is about reclaiming the thing that is always used against me. I hate your voice. Your voice is annoying. Stop singing. Stop talking. Don't be this. Don't do that. Tone down the gay. Like, I've heard it all. Be more gay. Like, I never know what people want from me. So this song is about basically just me being like, you know what? No. This is my voice. This is how it is. Find a way to deal with it. And also, the people that say it are usually like the meanest people in the world. And why am I giving them that attention? You know? I primarily wrote it by myself, but I've been writing it with my brother. And he came up with the line, "Here's your serotonin, baby." And I really, really like that. I think it's funny because it's so, here's the attention you wanted. I'm making a whole video about it. Blah, blah, blah. There you go. It's funny, on my FYP on TikTok, I've been seeing a lot of other LGBTQ people responding to comments about the sounds of their voice. And it kind of has made me realize that I really am not the only person who goes through this. It's Pride Month. I don't know if this song and video is gonna get done before Pride Month is over. Everything is kind of happening so fast. Even if the song and video doesn't get finished by the end of Pride Month, I think it's still important to do. And I hope that this song reaches the people that it needs to. Not necessarily the haters, the people that actually hate my voice. The song is for people who get made fun of for it, who get talked over, who get diminished every time they voice their opinion or they open their mouth. That has always been weaponized against me. I've had people talk over me. There's a reason sometimes I stutter a little bit when I talk, and it's a complete trauma response that I'm working really hard to get over. But it's because I constantly fight in my head what I want to say and what I think I need to say so people don't attack me. And that's really hard to unlearn. And when you are a people pleaser, it always makes you question what you should say instead of just saying your truth. And that is basically what this song and this entire project is about. I want to create a full studio album. The problem with albums as an independent artist is that you spend all this time working on them. And as soon as you release them, it's kind of like a one and done thing. Maybe not the album itself is a one and done thing, but you know, eras only last so long. And this time I just wanted to do something a little different. I'm kind of making this all up as I go. Every day I feel like I'm waking up to some sort of, oh, I could do this, and this is the motif that I want to be, and this is how I'm gonna hide this Easter egg, and this is for my old fans, and this is for my newer fans, and this is how it all comes together. this is the first time I've had that clarity moment that I always have with an album, where it's like, I'm gonna do this, 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 and this is what I wanna do. This is the point I'm trying to make. This is the motif, blah, 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 blah. I'm having that moment, that excited moment, and I feel like I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot about who my fans are, both old and new. I want there to be a little something for everybody, while also really introducing myself. And I think the best way to go about that is to start by reclaiming the one thing that is always weaponized against me. But I had so many false perceptions of myself. And I think if there's anything I learned in 2019, it was that I needed to wake up to that. I used to think 2019 could go to hell, but now I'm actually kind of glad it happened. It's weird. I never thought I would say that. Well, I guess if you're gonna tell a story, you gotta get started, so here we go! You. So I heard you hate my voice. You say I sound too feminine. It's cringe if I sound masculine. What I say or sing makes you annoyed. Huh. I heard you hate my voice. Funny how you got so much to say, but all you really said is I sound too gay. That was lame. Going on for 3, big kind of energy. I'm so glad you can use yours to make noise. I heard you hate my voice. You say I sound too feminine, cringe if I sound masculine. What I say or sing makes you annoyed. I heard you hate my voice.
1 or 2 takes with you singing the song, and then we'll do like 1 or 2 takes with you.
Of just noting.
Yeah.
I heard you hate my voice.
Okay.
So I just got the master back for I Heard You Hate My Voice. And first of all, it sounds amazing. But I didn't know who was gonna be mastering it. Turns out it's Peter Dole, who did the whole Tarzan soundtrack, did Frank Sinatra's last few albums, has done a Celine Dion album, and like American Idol, Empire, like a whole bunch of different things. He told me it was a nice production and hysterical lyrics. From him, that's a huge compliment. I'm totally like starstruck and like I want to cry. Time to get this song distributed. Okay, so it's truth time with John. Excuse my little breathe right strip. I have like a seasonal allergy, I guess. I'm not really supposed to make this video because I just got coffee from my family, and I really have to get back because my mom and stepdad are on their way to go camping, and I have their coffee. The last 2 weeks I've been down and out, not feeling well. I had vertigo again, headache, migraine, actually, tension headache, like, it was not good. Sore, and I basically had my 3rd anxiety breakdown since, well, the pandemic started. And it wasn't entirely because of the pandemic this time, but my anxiety was so high I couldn't function. And that was because I was overworked, overstressed, over everything. I reached a breaking point because
I've been doing this by myself for a very long time. Trying to run daily content on TikTok, trying to run weekly YouTube videos, trying to do music, doing those 3 big separate things is really hard. I think I got really stuck on survival. I don't make a lot of money, and I'm also a perfectionist, and that comes from nervousness, and that comes from anxiety, and it comes from trauma. I know where it comes from, okay? And I'm also a Virgo, okay? So shut up. Oh God, I really need to get back. But my point is, you can't do it all. If there's anybody out there like me who tries really hard to manage everything because, you know, you've been hurt in the past. You know, a lot of people have given you a lot of reasons to not, to make you feel like you have to do everything yourself. Especially when you don't have a lot of money. That's when it gets really panicky and really scary. But, it's okay. Not to quote Miss Rosé, but I think I learned that sometimes you have to fall to the ground to realize that everything you need was right there on the ground. Thank you, Blackpink. Anyway, I need to get going, but I hope people really like this song. I'm good at what I do. You know, I'm a good writer, and it took me a nervous breakdown for me to finally admit that. So, because I believed that confidence was arrogance. That's not true. And I see that now. So, time to show the world who I, Jonathan Miller, really am. Let the 6th era begin! Enjoy. Damn, you're